and let me present my screen. Great, the recording has started. Let me share my screen. Yeah, and my screen, let me know if my screen is also visible. Is my screen visible? Yeah. Naveen, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. And really, thanks to all of you for taking out time on a Saturday morning, that to around 10 a.m. I promise that I will not take more than an hour. But in this 1 hour, let us, yeah, hello.
Yeah, is it a quiz regarding call, I think,
No, no,
right?
this is a session to help you choose and prepare for your MBA careers.
Okay.
If you have any, and we parallelly run some quizzes as well. So if you have any doubts on that, I mean, I can respond to that as well. But the session is agenda for today's session is to how do you choose your careers post MBA, and yeah, I think you can see the agenda, right? How do you design a career choice matrix? What are the key 5 role buckets, and how do you prepare for your dream careers, right?
Okay.
And because we have a mix of students here from BTech, BCom, MBA, how to leverage your MBA, I will briefly touch upon, and I can, definitely answer in detail queries, right? Whatever you have. Is that okay? Uh, who was that who was asking the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Great, great, great. So this is the agenda. Let me now quickly walk you through this. So a little bit about us. Who are we? So we are a career advisory platform. We are GoCrackIt. We have been incubated at IIM Bangalore's NSRCM. So we are based out of Bangalore. And we were amongst the top 15 startups which were selected in the first ever Goldman Sachs Women Startup Program. And thus we got incubated at IIM Bangalore's NSRCM. Across our 5 years journey of helping students, we have helped 20,000 plus students across 25,000 plus mentoring hours. So we do lots of programs with the students, MBA students, BBA students, BCom students, where we help them understand different careers and then we help them prepare for those careers, right? Through either resume reviews, group discussions, practice interviews, different industry sectoral presentations. So we do the complete handholding for the students so that they are successful in their careers. And in a brief while, I will tell you why we are doing this, right? What we are doing is one part, right? But why are we doing this? I will talk about that as well in a while. So this is about us. So about myself. So I am Suhruta. I am co-founder of GoCrackIt and GoWin. So GoWin is a product that we have for helping learning about careers. I am an IIM Ahmedabad alumni. I graduated from IIM Ahmedabad in the year 2008. Did my PGP program 2006-8. And post that, I have worked in investment banking. I have worked in consulting. I started my own consulting firm as well. And in this entire experience, I've worked across several industries. I've worked in infrastructure, power, finance industry, education, F&B, music, healthcare, uh, then analytics. I've worked across different industries and domains during my entire tenure, and this is majorly post MBA. Pre MBA, I had 2 years of work ex, that was in power sector in NTPC. Post MBA, this is what, how my breadth of experience has been, right? Then I also worked at IIM Bangalore for almost 4 years, where I have co-authored case studies with the faculty of IIM Bangalore, and these case studies are published at Harvard Business Publishing. So if you open Harvard Business Publishing, now it has a great repository of different learning materials. Harvard and Harvard Business Publishing, you can find my case studies over there, including cases at University of Michigan and all of that. So I've done that, and 2017 onwards, I started GoCrackIt with the vision to help students and professionals to succeed in their careers. And we're going to talk about how a person can succeed in his or her career, right? I mean, hard work, sincerity is part one, right? But there are so many other factors which play out, and we are going to talk in detail about that. A little bit about my co-founder. So Alok is my co-founder. He is an IIM Bangalore alumni. He has again around 16 to 17 years of work experience. He has worked across management consulting, technology consulting, operations consulting. He has led large digital transformation projects and personally mentored 1,000 plus students, right? And he has helped people crack interviews in Amazon, in Google, in Microsoft, in Flipkart. I mean, name the top companies, and he has got students jobs in those companies, right? And it is not that just because what we do, but your hard work along with our guidance, our direction will help you crack that job, right? So you can check out Alok's LinkedIn profile. He has shared a lot of success stories as well from his students. So that's a little bit about both of us. I am Ahmedabad, I am Bangalore alumni who are the co-founders. Then we haven't been able to do this, right? Mentoring 20,000 students without the excellent team that we have. So from our team today, we have Naveen and Pratap over here in the session as well. So Naveen is our customer specialist. He helps customers to understand, customers to understand what we do and how we can help them and enable them to get what they want, right? Then we have Pratap, who has built an excellent technology stack for us on Flutter, and he's working towards, his postgrad. He's also looking at a great career ahead, right? So thanks, Pratap and Naveen, for being here today. And along with that, we have Vidya, Daivik, Sohan in the tech team, Anita, Natasha, Lakshmi in the operations customer support team, right? And Natasha, who heads our content, right? So this is about our team, and thanks to my team that we are actually able to do this. These are some of the, so the 20,000 MBA students that we have worked with, right? Majorly, we have worked with a lot of tier one, tier two institutes across IIMs, across Udaipur. I am Udaipur. I am Bodh Gaya. We have worked with Goa Institute of Management, Delhi Technology School. Then some more institutes that we have worked with, right? We have worked with Madurai School of Management. We have worked with Care Business School, ICFI Business School. So we have worked with institutions across the country, right? And across the batches as well, right? Yeah, so going ahead, right? So a little bit about what we are planning to do, right? So we have this session today on helping choose careers post MBA, and towards that we have a lineup of different events. Today itself we have a quiz on case study, right? So case interviews are used by companies across for their selection process, be it Flipkart, be it the consulting firms, be it startups. Everybody asks you a case study or a guesstimate. How many light bulbs are there in your campus, for example, right? That's one of the questions they might ask. Why do they ask it? Because they want to see, are you able to see problems, right? So we have a quiz on case study competition. All these quizzes are there on GoWin. GoWin by GoCrackIt. So there's an app that we have, and we also have it on our web platform, right? So we have a lineup of different quizzes. Today we have this quiz on case study. We have a quiz on marketing. You can check that out. It will be live after this session at 11 a.m. 16th and 17th, we have quizzes on consulting, 23rd, 24th on finance, 30th, 31st on product management. And along with this, similar to this session, similar to this workshop, we have workshops to help you prepare your resume next Saturday. The Saturday after that, interview best practices, and on 30th of July on group discussion, right? So we have this entire lineup of events going ahead. And then 1st August onwards, we are going to launch full-fledged crash courses on cracking your careers. You want to get into product management? You simply need to follow what we have on our app or our web. This will help you understand the career, prepare for this career, help you make your resume and help you with your interviews. And all of this is free, right? We're not charging anything because our vision is to help students, right? That is what we're doing, right? Great. So let me deep dive into the today's agenda. We are at 10:13, going at a good rate. So why does career choice matter, right? So you would have seen this, poster from FinShot. If you're MBA guys, I'm sure you would be following FinShots, InShots, to keep you updated on different happenings in the business world. All those who are currently pursuing their undergrad, please make use of these apps and these platforms, which will help you keep you updated on the happenings in the business world, right? So if you look at the career journey of Sundar Pichai, right, who studied in India, then started his post graduation abroad. The way his career journey mapped out from 2002 to 2022, and the different inflection points that he had in his career, right, and where he has reached now, right, over the past 20 years, and how did he go about it? It's an interesting thing, right? So first thing, the choice that you make for your career, it really matters, right? And hence think through before making in a choice, right? Don't get into a career, or just don't apply to any job just because it has come to the campus or somebody says it's good, it is going to pay you a very high salary. That would not help you in the long term, right? You might think through and say that, okay, this is what I want to do in the short term, but you need to think through, you need to make your own decisions on why you are doing and what you're doing. Okay, so all these choices that he made, if you look at Sundar Pichai's career, Google Chrome, right, which he had helped start, it got initially shot down, right, because of the high cost and competition. But he persisted with that Google Chrome in the company. And look where it is today. Today it has 64.5% of the market share across the entire browser industry, right? Now this is a choice that he made for the business of Google, but that's a choice that he made which has helped him also succeed in his career, right? Second choice which he made over here, he rejected an offer from Microsoft to be a CEO, from Microsoft and Twitter both, right? He had those offers back then in 2014. He rejected them because he knew that with Google his career is going to take even much more larger heights, right? And that is where, right, these choices matter a lot, and hence you need to be prepared and you need to think through these choices, right? Now you will be presented a lot of opportunities in your life, in your career going ahead, right? So they say that, right, you need to be at the right time at the right place, right? But just that doesn't, just being there at the right place at the right time doesn't matter. You need to be prepared while you get that opportunity, right? And hence you should be always focused on learning, right? Whatever you're doing right now, right, currently you're attending this session, focus 100% on that. Take these inputs, because all the inputs that you're gathering in your learning journey, in your experiences, and when I say learning, it is not just classroom learning, right? Whatever that you're doing outside the classrooms, you're doing as work, as your projects, as your assignments, all of this learning will help you. Hence you need to be prepared all the time to make use of the right opportunities. Thirdly, you should take risk, right? Now taking risk ensures that you get higher rewards. However, don't take blind risk, right? That doesn't help. Build backups before you take risk, right? So he had built a great career from Sundar Pichai, right? 2002 to 2014, he had built a great career. And that is where he took the risk of not taking the CEO position at that point of time. He had built up his backup where he had a great career in the past. For you guys who are just starting out on your career journeys, your backups should be your solid competencies, your knowledge, your skill sets. Build these skill sets so that you have fallback options, and then go ahead and take risk. Somebody who is in the second year, you might want to be an entrepreneur going ahead. Why don't you start now? If you start now, you have the backup of one full year, right, before you get into the job market. You know whether in this 1 year it will succeed or not succeed. If you're in your BTech second year, third year, you can do that even right now, right? While you're in your college, while you're studying, you can take even more risk, because as of now you don't have a lot of responsibilities, right? So take this risk while building backups. And when you're doing this, while you're studying, right, you build a lot of experience which you can use going ahead in your jobs, right? Fourthly, follow what you like, right? I mean, do things what you like, what you're passionate about, right? And I mean, even if don't just go for the sake of salary or for the sake of money, right? When you do what you're liking, success and money will follow, right? But have a plan, right, as to what you're doing and why you're doing, right? And I will take you share with you examples on that as well. So now that we had seen Sundar Pichai's story, extremely successful guy, let us look at what mistakes that I did in my career, right? So, firstly, right, when I started my career, when I was in my engineering, I was very clear that I want to work in the core sector. I don't want to work in the software sector, right? I was very clear on that. I have to do this. I did not get a single job from my campus. I reached all the final rounds of that interview, but then I couldn't crack the final rounds, right? Then I took up in desperation, right? Now, this was a wrong choice which I did. In desperation, I took up a job in a software company. That was something which I did not want to do, right? And then the moment I got selected easily, right? Because I was a topper in the college. I knew my stuff, very good in logic, analysis, and all of that, right? I got easily selected in that. But then I knew that I don't want to do that, right? Then I went back and started preparing for other core sector roles, and I got into NTPC, right? Now the job that I got into, right, the company which I got into was the best amongst the core sector for electrical engineers, right? So because I kept following what I wanted to do, I could crack that, right? While I had failures earlier. Failures will be there in your life, right? Failures, do not get down because of failure. Those will be there all the time, right? I mean, but it's just a learning that you will have from the failures, right? Now, because I worked in NTPC, in my summers at I am Ahmedabad, I got into PwC in a similar role in a role where I could leverage my industry expertise for financial modeling, right? So because I was following what I liked, I could get into good roles going ahead. Then for my finance, I got into Ernst& Young into investment banking. Again, for the similar sector, which was power, which then got expanded to infrastructure, which then got expanded to financial services. So I kept on doing and following what I liked, which helped me succeed in my career, right, going ahead. Second thing, during I am Ahmedabad, right, I had almost 5 to 6 campus offers, right, and one of them, so one offer was from Ernst& Young, which was into investment banking. Second offer was from, one of the other offers was from Hinduja Group, right? Now, Ernst& Young, offered me more money and all of that. Hinduja Group money also was similar, but then I had this lot of peer pressure, right, to get into investment banking, and hence I joined Ernst& Young, right? So I made a bad choice at that time. I mean, it felt a bad choice at that time. In retrospective, probably it was a good choice that I made. But the first client that I had when I joined investment banking was Hinduja Group. Now imagine I could have been on the other side, right? Where I could have, dictated the terms and conditions to the investment banking firm, right? But just because I followed, probably peer pressure or probably more money, I made that wrong choice. But having said that, I had a great learning time at Ernst& Young. I learned a lot during this entire process. But probably my career trajectory would have been very different had I joined the Hinduja Group, right? I could have been the CEO of their India group right now. You don't know how the careers would have panned out, right? So follow what you like. That is very important. That's what I wanted to drive to this. Then I took a lot of risk, right? After 2 3 years of working in Ernst& Young, I quit and I started working at Quetzal. So what's Quetzal? I mean, not many would have heard the name of Quetzal, but I'm sure you would have heard the name of Sugar Cosmetics. So Quetzal was a company started by Vinita Singh, who has also started Sugar Cosmetics. And I was working directly with her at that time, right? So for a year I worked with Quetzal, where I was again consulting a client on building out power projects, right? So I took risk, right, where I went away from an established advisory firm to advising for a small startup by IMA alumni. But when I took risk, at different points of time in my career, I also built a lot of relationships while doing that, right? So this way, what happens is that because I was also growing because of taking risks, at the same time I was building a lot of relationships, right? Fourth thing which I would like to share from my MBA, right? So IMA has great number of companies coming to the campus and all of that, right? During my summers, I had almost 6 days interview shortlist, right? But I wasn't prepared at that point of time, right? I got into again last rounds of McKinsey and Oliver Wyman and a lot of good consulting companies, but I wasn't prepared with my case interviews, right? So if you are not prepared, even if the opportunity comes to you, you won't be able to make the best use out of it. And hence, it is very, very, very important to be prepared for what you want to do. And hence, what you want to do becomes very important, right? So I talked about different career journeys. How do you now make your choice of career, right? So typically, these are some of the parameters that I would want you to lay down, right? First, figure out what are your strengths, interest, what is unique to you, what is your distinct characteristics, what's your unique thing which you can add value for a given company or for a given role for a career. What do you absolutely hate to do, right? So this is also very important to know, right? That I was very clear, I don't want to get into software, right? And that makes the choice also easier, right? Career choice, figuring out what careers to get into, easy, right? Then what is the preparation required? Now this is very important, because if you don't have that, you won't be able to crack that given career. And last but not the least, what is the industry demand, right? I mean, you might want to become a scuba diving instructor, right? It might be a great career, right? But what's the demand for scuba diving instructors? Is it growing? Is it something that would be required going ahead on a long term basis, right? It probably would be a very small industry, right? And hence, would you be able to grow in that industry, right? So this is something which, some parameters, again you can have a longer list of parameters that you want to build upon, but these are probably 6 things which are very important. Then you put down your career choices, right? That I want to get into finance or marketing or whatever career choices that you would want to look out for. Okay, now let's say that your strength is consumer behavior, you like working with people, right? And you want to get into finance. Now finance needs number crunching, finance needs a lot of analysis. Is that your strength as of now? No. And hence, should you choose finance, probably I will give a lower rating over here, right? So you can, in a very mathematical way, you can make this matrix and figure out what career you want to get into. Now, second part of, so I hope everybody has noted this down. I will share this matrix also with all of you, but this is very important to understand. Any questions on this career choice matrix? Do we have any questions? Okay, fine. If there are no questions, we will go ahead. I just wanted to be clear that everybody is very clear with this, right? Now, what we will quickly do is help understand different careers, right? So, how do you find, right? I mean, what career options are possible for you? How do you find it? Simply, I mean, you go to your, institute's website, and there would be placement reports. If you don't have that compiled by the institute, you can find it out from your seniors, from your faculty, from your placement department. What companies typically come for your campus, what functions and what sectors do they come from. So this is your, this 1 2 3 4, right, careers that you want to figure out. This could come from here, right? And because these are the companies which are coming to the campus, you know that this is something which is in demand, right? So go back and do this analysis for your campus today, right? And you could also do an analysis for the past 3 4 years, right? What happened in the past 3 4 years, right? And then you could also look at, if you're in the first year, you can look at both your summer placement as well as your final placement. If you're in your engineering or your BCom, you can also look at what kind of internships have students or your seniors done before you, right? This will help you shortlist your career choices and then help you figure out what you need to prioritize upon, right? This is how you can prepare your own career. Now, what we will do is we will quickly look at the 5 key roles for careers after MBA and how do you prepare for those dream careers. I'm going to spend more time on how do you prepare. On the what are the key role buckets, I'm going to take you through how you should learn about it, right? So the key roles that we are going to cover about are sales and marketing, business development, and similar kind of roles. It could include digital marketing, it could include market research, and different types of roles in this bucket. The second role that we are going to look at is consulting, strategy, and similar kind of roles. Third is the entire spectrum of finance roles. Fourth is operations, supply chain management, or general management roles. And fifth is the technology bucket role, right? So even from let's say BCom and you want to get into tech roles, it is possible. You could be a business analyst for the financial services industry, right? So don't shut out any industry or any role because of what course that you're pursuing right now, right? I want you to do that entire research and analysis before making that career choice, right? So a little bit about if you are planning to get into an internship or any post MBA role. Most of the internships or your dream MBA roles are multidisciplinary, right? So if you're into a marketing role, it is not that you wouldn't be doing number crunching. You will be have to good at analysis as well. If you're in the finance role, it is not that you won't be doing an industry analysis, right? So most of the business roles are typically multidisciplinary, right? Great. So let's start about some of the sales, marketing, and business development roles. So, what are the key competencies that you require for that, right? If you're looking at B2C roles, right, there could be roles across, you could be talking to a lot of customers, you could be doing customer analysis, you could be doing distributor or retailer analysis, right? These are all the B2C sales kind of roles, right? Let's take an example. So if you are working at Pepsi or Coca-Cola, right? FMCG product, right? Now the FMCG product is driven one by marketing, right? Where you are in the marketing team, where you are building out the brand for the customers to know that this brand exists. Second part is which is where the sales and distribution comes in. If the customer knows that Coca-Cola exists and the customers want to have that product, it should be available at the customer's preferred choice of distribution channel. It should be available at either at the retail store or if the customer is ordering online, it should be available at Big Basket. So this is where the entire sales and distribution becomes very important for all these FMCG products or for the entire B2C spectrum. If you are working in business development where you're talking more of B2B, for example, if you're Microsoft, right, you are going to sell your entire office suite to businesses, right? And hence you need to have that ability to build relationships with customers. You should be able to do market research, you should be able to communicate very precisely, communicate very well with high level, with CXOs, right? With higher senior management. Can you do this, right? For B2B. This is what you will do in the B2B sales. Then, if you're doing marketing, you will spend a lot of time on understanding the customer, right? Doing probably STP analysis, designing and executing marketing campaigns, right? I mean, a lot of work goes into marketing. It's not just fancy ads that we see on the TV, right? There's a lot of groundwork which goes into marketing as well. Fourth block in this could be digital marketing, right? What like a lot of consumers are consuming things through social media, right? And because everybody is online, right? Digital marketing is also a very important career option. Now, in this, again, you need to run campaigns, but more importantly, you need to see the analytics, right? What are the outcomes of doing this? So, overall, for all these kind of roles, I would say that communication skills is one of the most important skill that you need for this. Secondly, analysis. Thirdly, problem solving. Understanding consumer behavior, be it B2C or B2B. You need to know what the consumer needs, requirements, and wants are, right? And understand that domain very clearly, right? So, those are few of the things that you require. Now, what you should do, how do you understand more? LinkedIn is your friend over here, right? Look at people who have done these kind of internships or roles and find out what they've done. So, for example, this is some person who has worked as a summer intern at Robert Bosch, right? Now, what was the role that this person had worked as innovation manager and was working on personalization, perform market research for the smart home segment, right? So, this is how you can find out what actual work goes into a given role. Second person working at Amul visited 14 towns and 250 shops to identify the causes of decline in Amul spray sales. Right, so one of the product and you need to do research on that, right? Identify new business opportunities, right? So these are the different work examples in these kind of roles. Sampling, surveying 102 customers, doing customer interviews, right? Then building loyalty programs, right? Again, part of the entire spectrum of these roles. CRM, again, a very important thing, customer relationship management tool, right? Which if you're doing B2C or even if you're doing B2B, it helps you using technology on how to understand the customer, right? Then looking at distribution channels, building a distribution channel, which is an independent distribution channel. See, now this is across Muthoot, right, which is a financial services firm, right? And still you're in the sales, marketing, BD kind of role over there, right? Now this firm is at Kantar, which is a market research firm itself, right? Which will give you more, exposure to different kind of marketing roles, right? So doing face-to-face, API, PAPI interviews, getting actionable insights for the clients, then developing a go-to-market strategy, right? So now, how do you prepare for these kind of roles, right? Typically, how do the interviews pan out for these roles? You will have resume-based interviews. They would like to understand what you have done. Can you solve problems? There could be behavioral interviews. There would be definitely a lot of questioning on your understanding of marketing and sales, right? Do you understand the customer, your subject knowledge, your marketing, this thing, courses, understanding your MBA subjects, doing case interviews, and most importantly, any company that you're applying to, do you know everything about that company? So definitely look at the company's products, services, their strategy, their marketing campaigns, what they're doing if you're applying to these kind of roles, right? And you will find all of this in the social media, on the internet, and all of this, right? Typically, what are the questions which could be asked during your interviews? How will you use digital marketing to increase brand visibility? Provide a detailed plan. Right? So the question is to help them understand, can you think through, and hence can you give a detailed digital marketing plan, right? What is the difference between sales and marketing, right? Again, as I discussed, right? For Coca-Cola, what's marketing? It's about building brand, making people aware. What sales? Ensuring that it reaches out to the people and actually converts in transactions where the company gets money, right? Then there could be questions on why MBA, why marketing, prepare a go-to market strategy for a company. How would you convince a homeowner to sign up for Airbnb, right? So these kind of questions could be asked. I mean, this is just a shorter list of questions, indicative list of questions. You can go and look up on different resources for more such interview questions, right? Great. So let's look at consulting strategy roles. Before I start into this, I would like to tell you what consulting is about, right? So consulting is when a company, right? Let's again take example of Coca-Cola, right? If it is facing a dip in the market share in India, it would go now. It can try to solve this problem internally, but what happens internally? You get biased by a lot of things, right? And you also don't have the industry expertise, right? Coca-Cola, for example, doesn't know how, let's say, Amul has been able to have a very good distribution, right? Different segments, but it is in the same F&B space, right? If a customer wants to have a drink, right? I mean, an all-alcoholic beverage, they might look at tender coconut water. They might look at, an Amul cool kind of a thing. They might look at a soft drink, right? So the customer wallet and the customer choices has all of these brands vying for attention, right? And when you go to a strategy consulting firm, right, or to an ops consulting firm or any consulting firm, right, they help you to break this down, right? help you to understand how the industry is doing, what other competitors are doing, and hence they help you build the strategy for any of the things. It could be for marketing, it could be for increasing your revenues, decreasing your expenses, building out good technology for you, helping you with your operations, finding out what risks are there for you. So there are different types of consulting firms which help the organizations or the corporates to move ahead, to grow in their given domain. So that is what consulting firms typically do, right? Then strategy roles, these are typically in, so a lot of companies have formed internal consulting groups, right? Which help them to do this analysis internally, right? Now, what these people do, they're always on the constant lookout on what's happening externally, right? Because if you don't understand the external constraints, you don't know how to grow yourself, right? What we did in even in the career choice matrix, right? Look at what the industry demand is and then take your decisions based upon that, right? So now, to be a good consultant, you need to have great problem solving skills. You need to be a go-getter, you need to take your own initiatives, right? You need to be very strong in research and analysis, good in communications, and you need to be a good team player. So some examples of consulting, how to increase the cross sell capability of banks, right? So this person, while working in IBM, has helped banks to cross sell their different products using technology, right? Now you are working multidisciplinary over here. You're the industry that you're working is for banks. What are you using? You're leveraging technology for what? For more sales, right? So you can understand the entire complexity of this and how you need to work across different disciplines in your post MBA career roles, right? And that is where consulting also offers you a very great, very steep learning curve, because while you are in consulting, you not only work across multiple industries, you also work across multiple domains, right? That is where it helps you quickly understand what happens across industries, domains, functions, right? Then this is something which a person has done something for digital banking. Then here, helped in creating a diversification strategy for a telecom infrastructure company. Then this is a project management project where he provided visibility of 1,000 plus employees to the CXOs, right? So these are some of the work examples of consulting or strategy kind of roles, right? So let me, it could be across, yeah, marketing and all of that. So what do you need to crack these kind of roles? How do you prepare for consulting and strategy roles? Case interviews, very important. And that is where today's quiz, which we have, which is on a similar kind of case interview, you need to be very prepared on case interviews. If there is a need, we can do a separate session on this as well. Get a glimpse of what are case interviews with our today's quiz on case interviews, right? Then secondly, you need to be absolutely be prepared on your resume on behavioral based questions and MBA subjects. Thirdly, be prepared on different business structures, because see, you need to understand business models to be able to advise somebody on how they should be working. And mind you, when you're working as a consultant, you are working with very senior professionals. You're working with somebody who is 20 years more experience than you. You're working with CXOs, and hence you have to be extremely knowledgeable to be able to even converse with that person, right? And hence, building your competencies, building your knowledge is very important for a consultant, right? You need to become an expert within 1 week of research and analysis, right? That is what you should be able to do, right? And in your interviews and all of that, you should be able to convey how your either, and even people from BTech, BCom also land up in consulting roles, right? I mean, it is not just that MBA is required. A lot of companies are open to people from undergrad, where you join in as an analyst and grow up in the firm over there. Typically, from MBA, you join as an associate. That's the only difference. Probably in 2 years, you will again become an associate over there, right? So, a lot of good consulting firms visit a lot of undergrad, institutes as well to hire good talent over there, right? So, you keep a lookout on what firms are coming, or if you're part of the placement committee, you can even invite these firms for sessions at your campuses, right? What could be typical interview questions? I mean, why do you want to join consulting? Explain a selection process for a club or committee which you have at your firm. Explain the framework for education in India, right? So you could have very high level questioning in your consulting, apart from obviously case interviews, right? What was communicated during the company pre-placement talks? See, consulting firms are very passionate about who they are hiring, right? And hence they want to be sure that you are the right fit for their team, because they work in very small teams to bring out a lot of impact, right? And hence you should show that passion, you should show that dedication, that you want to join this for these XYZ reasons, and for any interaction that they have with your college or institute, you should be fully involved in that and show that in your communications as well, right? Great. So let us look at finance roles after this. So finance roles typically, it could be across investment banking. So what is investment banking? So investment banking is similar like a consultant, but I, as an investment banker, so I've worked in the investment banking domain, right? What I do is I help different corporates with financial transactions, and these financial transactions could be raising money for something, doing an IPO for a firm, or it could be doing an M&A for a firm, or it could be selling off some assets, or it could be managing the cash. Infosys, for example, is a company which is sitting on a huge pile of cash. How does Infosys manage its cash? I'm sure there is an investment banker which is helping Infosys to manage that pile of cash, right? So you could be doing either of these roles as an investment banker, right? Equity research. Now, this is something where you are advising different clients, and it could be corporate clients or it could be individuals, on what to buy, be it in stocks, be it in currencies, commodities, whatever is getting traded across in different financial markets. You could be doing research on that. So it could be an equity research for stocks, you could be a commodities researcher, you could be a currencies researcher, you could be an economic researcher, right? Because there are a lot of things which are traded across the financial markets across the globe, right? There are very good courses on this on Coursera. And all of these courses on Coursera and edX are free, right? You should do these courses. If you want a certificate, then only you need to pay, otherwise you don't need to pay for that, right? So learn about this, where you are helping, you are valuing a specific stock, a company, or a currency, or a commodity, and hence making decisions on whether one should buy, sell, or hold these things, right? Then there could be roles in corporate finance, where you're part of the finance and accounting team of of a corporate, where you could be helping the corporate also to raise money if you're in the finance team, or manage the treasury of that company. If you're in the accounting team, you are basically helping to set the accounts right as per the legal requirements, and doing a lot of analysis of what is happening inside the company, so that the management can take the right decisions on operations, on say marketing, on different things that will help the company grow, right? So that is what you would do in the corporate finance roles. Fourthly, there could be roles across the BFSI sector, banking, financial services, and insurance sector. And there are multiple roles across this, right? There could be roles in marketing and sales in BFSI. There could be roles in customer support, in customer relationships. There could be roles in building our products, product management roles, where you are, say, designing a new credit, a card for a customer, right? For a specific, let's say, credit card for BCom students, right? And that's a very specific product. For that, you need to understand what these BCom students need, how are they going to repay that credit, and why it would be a good thing to do, build a product like this. Or credit card for engineering students, for example, right? Where are they going to use it? How are they going to pay those credit card bills? Going ahead, because they are going to be successful professionals, and hence how should we build relationship with these high potential students starting from now, right? So these are the different products which you can build by being in these kind of roles, right? So you definitely need a very sound and strong knowledge of finance for this. You need excellent financial modeling skills, and you should be able to understand the customer needs and also manage them, right? So for example, if you're in investment banking, you work very closely with clients, right? So you need to be able to do that, right? So some examples of investment banking: analyze recent amended trends. Now, why I'm showing you these examples? Based on these examples, you should go out and do live projects or even self-initiated projects, and you should put that on your resume so that you can get a shortlist from your dream company, right? This All these work examples are to help you design projects for yourself so that you can put them on the resume and get that shortlist. Okay. Then it could be on different index volume trading desk. So these are somebody who's worked in trading, right? Analyze US based companies from different sectors. And this is something, see, you don't actually need a company or somebody to give you this project. You can design these projects on your own and do this, right? And you can call these as self initiated projects. Recruiters appreciate the work that you're doing on your own. If you get a live project, nothing like it. If you get an internship, nothing like it. But if you don't get this, don't get disheartened. Start your own projects, right? Then it could be innovation team of a bank. It could be automating different processes in the BFSI domain. It could be doing data analytics in BFSI domain, right? It could be doing different products for your customers. Given COVID, a lot of finance companies developed financial products related to health, right? It could be doing a lot of research for your target products. It could be working on global remittances, right? A lot of financial transactions happen across the world, right? And there's a lot of demand over this for global remittances, right? Yeah. So what do you need to prepare upon? As I said, finance account related questions, both basic and advanced level. Know your financial statements, your P&L, balance sheets, cash flows. You should be able to do your ratio analysis, and obviously be prepared on your resume, behavioral, MBA subjects. Showcase strong interest in at least one of the domains that you want to do into, right? Some of these interview questions: three golden rules of accounting, what is working capital, explain PE ratio, as I said, right? All your ratio analysis and all that you should be very clear for. So read the job description, and this goes for all the roles, right? Read the job description carefully, understand what is written in each and every job description, right? And hence prepare yourself accordingly. Great. So now, roles in operations and general management. Typically, as I took the example of say Pepsi, right? You need to first manufacture the product, right? Which is part of the operations, right? Now, for manufacturing the product, how do you get the ingredients? How do you get the plastic? How do you get the machineries? This is the entire supply chain, right? For a given product, starting from getting your raw materials to actually manufacturing it to distributing it. This All these roles come under the operations and supply chain domain, right? Now, here you need to ensure that you make the companies more efficient. You need to be able to cut down the cost, and hence you need a lot of analytical skills, right, for doing this. And you should be also be able to create strategies for this, right? So, these could be roles in this domain. You could also be taken in as management trainee, right, where you have put in assorted projects. So, for example, a lot of these companies have management trainee or these kind of programs where they will put you through three months of rotation across different roles, wherein you get an understanding of what this company actually does, right? There could be also role which is called as category manager, right? Where, let's say, for example, if you're in Fasos, I'm sure you would have heard of Behru's biryani or Fasos rolls, right? So you could be in charge of one product for, say, Noida region. You could be in charge of one product for, say, Bangalore region, where you need to take the P&L responsibility, grow that product in that region, and then that could grow for city level, for state level, for a region, for a country, and hence on a global level. So that is how your role. So the growth in this role is that you can become a CEO, right? That is how the role increase, and you can become a CEO from other roles as well. But this is typically designed for that, right? Uh, so what are the different work examples? Uh, you need to streamline different forecast, production planning, manage different safety stocks. You could be looking at evaluating vendors, different packaging techniques, right? So there are different works that you need to do in these kind of roles, right? If the shipments are delaying, right? Why this is happening? You could be looking at that. What are the risk factors for your entire supply chain? And what do you need to prepare? Typically, resume based interview questions that's given for all the roles. So there are a lot of frameworks and subject matter expertise in operations and supply chain. You need to be very clear on that. So, for example, what is bullwhip effect, right? This is one term which is used in the entire ops SCM domain, right? Then there is a very good book called as The Goal, right? Which will help you learn about operations and supply chain in a very easy manner. It's written in a story like form, so you will understand this very well, right? Right. So, what are the few questions? What is ABC analysis? Now, this is again domain specific, right? Then, what is an SKU? What is the role of a category manager? What are the four V's of operations management, right? So, be prepared on all of these, right? When before you go for the interviews, right? Now, the last bucket on tech roles. So, tech roles could be across tech consulting. What we discussed in consulting, you are enabling an organization to build great technology for the organization to help it grow. It could be product management tools. Now, product management is a career which is highly in demand right now, thanks to all the tech products which we are using day in, day out, right? Google Meet, where we are meeting here today, it's a product for Google. How was it developed? How do you ensure that the users use it more and more? What are the things that user needs? B2C users, B2B users. So as a product manager, you are in charge of this entire product. You're the CEO of this product, right? So these are great roles, and we'll look at what work examples go into it. And there could be roles across analytics, data science, AI, ML. These are also all related to technology, right? Because you need a lot of data. Where do this data come from? From firms which are technically enabled, right? So this is where there is huge growth in all these tech related roles, right? What do you need for these kind of for cracking these roles? Understanding technology, user understanding for both all the three roles. What do clients need? What is the product life cycle? Analytics, like there are a lot of concepts and techniques used in analytics, and tech models as well. So you need to understand that, right? So some of the roles, analytics roles, understanding, building a statistical hypothesis test, identifying why low usage of LinkedIn Sales Navigator, right? Then it could be against building a product for loan against property. So this is a product management role, right? What we discussed some time back. Then as a product lead, understanding user growth and engagement, doing A/B testing, user experience enhancements, product analytics. So again, a lot of multidisciplinary things start coming in, right? As a product manager, you also need to do analytics. As an analytics guy, you need to understand what the product is about, who are the users, right? Then statistical modeling, risk analytics, looking at diverse senior stakeholders. How do you need to prepare for these roles? As I said, understand technology. You should love it. And when I say technology, you need not know how to code. If you are if you know coding, it's a very good skill set to have. But as I said, even somebody is pursuing BCom, BBA, they can become business analyst. You can come from the customer end, right, and help the technology teams to understand what the customers need, right? If you're a tech guy, even better, right, because you can build out these products and technology for the customers, right? So you need to understand, technology, know how technology can be employed, right? Learn concepts on product management, be very conceptually clear. That is very important in all these tech roles, right? So some of the questions which could be asked, differences between waterfall and agile. So if you're in tech consulting or software development, these are the processes that you use over there. What is cloud computing? Is it safe? What is robotic process automation, right? So these are again all these tech terms which are being used, right? Great. So we have understood the five key role buckets, right, across sales and marketing, consulting, finance, operations, and in technology. As you could have seen, right, across what we saw, right, most of these are multidisciplinary. You need strong research and analytics skills. You need to have a great hold on Excel or Google Sheets, right? Any tools that you need for analysis, you need to have a great hold on this, and you need to be very clear on domain specific knowledge and tools, right? That is very important, right? For cracking any career, right? Great. So, how to leverage your MBA? We will share this also with you. Now, based upon your career choice matrix, prepare a career development plan for three of your top careers and prepare in a very structured manner what you need to do. Whether you need to build a knowledge for banking, for say financial services, insurance, for fintech, if you're planning to get into the finance domain, right? What are the resources that you will be using? Are you planning to do a course on Udemy? Are you going to read up news? LinkedIn to connect with industry experts. If you would have seen my post yesterday on LinkedIn, I talked about something called as informational interview. Are you planning to do 5 informational interviews? Put that in your career development plan, right? And put a target date and put a status, right? This is how you can make the best use of the time that you have as a student. If you are in the second year, make a 3 month plan. If you are in the first year, make a 1 year 3 month plan, right? Because that is how you will be able to leverage your MBA, right? If you are in the BTech or in any undergrad, even better because you have even more time at hand. But prepare this plan of action, that is very important, and prepare it for at least 3 target careers, right? Great. So, how to leverage your MBA? Focus on academics. That is very important. Choose the right electives, right? If you know what career you want to get into, then you can choose that right electives for you getting into those careers. Do a lot of extracurriculars, right? Be part of different clubs, committees, do a lot of activities, right? MBA or even during your undergrad also, right? Being a student, you can explore a lot of things. As I said, take risk, right? Because unless and until you don't know things, you won't be able to figure out whether these are right or wrong for you, right? Do things rather than just learn, right? As I said, do projects, participate in extracurricular activities, take up positions of responsibility, organize an event for your college, organize, probably an inter college event, organize something in your city, right? Take these positions of responsibility where you will learn leadership skills, where you will learn managerial skills, right? So do this. If you're not part of any of the college club or committee because of whatever selection process and all that, initiate some things on your own. Do volunteering, right? There are so many opportunities out there. Take up all those things, right? Build your connections with your peers, your batchmates, your classmates, your seniors, juniors, very importantly with faculty as well, right? So I have built connections with my faculty from my engineering, from my MBA. Post MBA also I've done several courses, right? I've built connections with the faculty. They help you propel forward in your career, so build those relations with your faculty, and most importantly also with your alumni. So all the informational interviews, if you could set up with your alumni, it helps you build great relationships with the alumni, and they can help you to move forward on your career path, right? This is very important. And when I say how to leverage MBA, it also covers your undergrad courses as well, right? Because see, this is common across any course that you do, correct? So three things that I would like to leave you with: build upon your competencies, your knowledge, your skill sets, build upon your connections, right? And build on your confidence. And this you can do by doing all the activities which I shared in the last few slides, right? And this is how you can be successful in your career, make the right choices, and prepare towards this. You may not be able to crack it just after your postgrad or undergrad. You might take 3 to 4 years to do that, but follow that track which you want to really do, right? And then, as I said, success and money will follow you, right? So this is very important. Just one, last slider on what we're doing going ahead. So at 11 o'clock, yeah, it's already 11 to the quiz is ready. I mean, the quiz will be live. You can go to go win by GoCrackIt, and you can do just 2 quizzes today: case study and marketing quiz. Then we have, going ahead, we have several quizzes which you can participate in. We do have a lot of quizzes already there on the platforms, and the workshops. So next week, I'm going to help you build your resume. I'm going to share a form with all of you. If you want to share your resume beforehand, right, and take my comments on that, I will do that before we do the workshop also, right? So this is an open offer for all those who are participating in today's session, right? I will help you build your resume as well. And we'll talk a lot about the best practices in the next Saturday session, right? Great. Any questions? I will pause here for a few minutes for questions. Any questions, guys? Have I covered what you aspire to do? Great. So let me, I will share the form for all those who want to get their resumes reviewed. And then you can submit it on that form and we will take it forward from there in the next week. Okay, thank you so much for all of you for being here today. And I hope to see all of you in the next week as well. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so Niranjan, are you still there? I just saw your question. Yeah, great. So a great question, Niranjan. Every time that I attend interview, I get nervous. How to overcome that, right? So the best two things that you can do, Niranjan. One is prepare, right? Prepare on your content. As I said, look through your job description, prepare on the industry, prepare on the company, right? So on the content part, you should be prepared to the hilt. Second thing, practice. Do lots and lots of mock interviews, right? And you can do that with your batchmates, with your seniors, even you can ask your faculty members, right? I mean, whoever is there to help you, right? We have a mentoring platform where we actually do a lot of these mock interviews, right, for the institutes, right? So prepare a lot and then practice. Third and most important thing, don't go to an interview thinking this is an interview. Go to the interview thinking that this is a discussion. Write down what you are going to add value to the recruiter, to the company, how you are going to solve a problem for the company, right? And fourthly, don't just go to get that job. Go for that interview, go to that interview to build that connection. Okay. Once you do that, right? Once you put away the fear of failure, right? So the nervousness comes because there are a lot of things at stake and hence you fear failure, right? And because you fear failure, you tend to forget whatever you have studied, whatever you have learned, right? And what you have decided to speak in the interview. Hence, go with a cool mind that it's okay if you don't get the job, right? See, with because you are already doing well in your studies, because you're already, doing well in terms of your knowledge and skills, you will get a job that is given. As I said, right, I flunked all my final interviews in my engineering, right? And I'm sure it was because of the same nervousness, right? Because I so desperately wanted the job, right? That desperation shows in your interview as well, right? They want a person who can coolly do work and solve problems for their companies, right? They don't want an very emotional wreck, right? Who might get nervous, who might buckle under pressure, which I was at that point of time, right? Hence, uh, if you can, do this, right, where you go in with confidence and be assured you will get a job, right? That is given, right? So do these three things, right? Prepare your content, practice your interviews, go thinking in as if it is a discussion, and fourthly, to build a connection, right? Those are the four things. If you do that, you will crack any and every interview, right? Don't be desperate to get a job or something. You will get a job. Be assured. If you want to do a mock interview, I would be happy to conduct one for you as well, right? So that we can figure out what are the things where you lack in, right? Does that help, Niranjan? Great. So connect with me and we will work this out. Great. Okay, thank you so much for taking out time for today's session. If there are more questions, I can attend those, or we can take it up in the next session. Again, next Saturday, we will meet at the same time to help you prepare your resume. Right? Thank you so much.